hellster Morgenrot daher, seh ich dich im Strahlenmeer, dich, du hoch erhabener, herrlicher, wenn der Alpen fern sich rötet, betet freie Schweizer betet, eure fromme Seele ahnt, eure fromme Seele ahnt, Gott den Herrn Vaterland, Gott den Herrn Vaterland.
Well, there's the anthems, and after the break, the action.
1v1 with Hemp.
It's a loose pass straight to Walsh. Walsh to Mead. And Kirby has looked bright early on and looking for that clever inside pass towards Russo. Knocked up in the end there, Switzerland, but England applying that press to make it difficult for the Swiss to pass out. Senegorcevic, probably one of these standout players in this Switzerland side. The Barcelona player.
I think that's why I called her the right back. I was so terrified of managing her name.
She should see a lot of the ball this evening when Switzerland have the ball. How much they'll have of the ball, we'll see. England decent in possession here early on. Bright. Keep an eye on the shape of that England midfield as well.
I think one thing's for certain with Williamson playing at the back, don't lose the quality centrally in possession, which will give England another dynamic. Just Greenwood's distribution from the left will add something going forward too.
And Bright's not bad passing the ball out from the back either. Ball to Hemp. Here's Greenwood. Now Walsh. And across to that right-hand side where Daly is. And this might break now to Russo, and it's going to break to Kirby! Well, for all the world, we would have thought England would take the lead there, but somehow denied by a brilliant save in the end by Friedli.
But what a great start from England. It's been on the front foot. It's another good switch of play from Kira Walsh into Daly. Good link play, and Russo alert inside the penalty area, and Fran Kirby should put that away. Good goalkeeping from Friedli.
Well, Switzerland missing their usual number one, Talman. Just a 10th cap tonight for Friedli in that goal. Plays her football in Italy. Had a good start. And after that early scare, England have settled pretty well here.
Well, England have the opportunity tonight to have a look at something different in midfield. I think there will come moments when Williamson will drop into a centre-back and they'll look at more attacking midfielders in there.
And Kirby, eye-catching start from the Chelsea player, pulling it back, looking for Russo, who wanted the corner, not going to get it.
But already we're seeing Fran Kirby's strengths, just looking to run into the spaces between the full-back and the centre-back, and Russo looks so alive centrally.
There's that save again. Sarai Friedli. Made her debut back in 2017, has had to wait really to pick up the caps. Talman, the main presence between the posts for Switzerland. There's Greenwood, left back where she initially made her name. Oops. Closed down there by Backman.
This is what I do think you get with Leah Williamson in this position. She's comfortable doing this game in, game out. I think England lack that at times out the back. And it is the area they're going to have to improve upon, because I think lots of teams will press them high in the Euros.
Excellent work by Russo. Through to Mead. It's really opened up for England here. Kirby is free, but it's Hemp onto a weaker right. Straight to the goalkeeper. England wasteful early on.
Oh, what a great transition that was. Beth Mead doesn't get her head up quickly enough to play the ball across to Fran Kirby. And what you get with Lauren Hemp is putting it onto a less favoured right foot. Still great break from England. I think it's the start they've needed. Something I haven't seen in the past 2 games. Really good start.
Looking dangerous. The side hasn't had a problem scoring goals, but this has to be taken into account, the opposition that England have faced in their time under Serena Wigman. But as they always say, you can only beat what's in front of you. Can Switzerland settle? Valti trying to squirm a way out of trouble there, but England not allowing the Arsenal player any time on the ball. The captain for this Swiss side.
That's what Stanway's in there for. I think that's where England are really searching, trying to find the right number 8 to play alongside Kira Walsh and Fran Kirby. I think it's a big opportunity for Stanway in that area.
So both sides being put under pressure in possession. Swiss facing Portugal, Sweden and the Netherlands at the Euros. Games at Lee Sports Village and at Bramall Lane. So Nagorcevic there, showing her a little glimpse of her ability to cause Greenwood a problem.
Oh, she does this so naturally, gets forward on the right. It's a lovely first touch. Draws the foul from Greenwood, who's really grown into being a centre-back for club and country. It's slightly unfamiliar for her being left-back.
This is a bit more positive. The other Arsenal player, Maritz Bachmann. It's not the best clearance from Daly. Confident play in there from Stanway. Rogan got there for Switzerland. Reuteler, free kick.
And for me, this is the one part of her game. This is the next step for her, and I'm sure Germany will help her with that. As you can see, there's a lot of fouls. I think in the top level, where we know 1/3 of all major championship goals are scored from set pieces, be so conscious not to give away cheap fouls, especially around the box.
Well, Nils Nielsen watching on. It's Bachmann over this free kick. The PSG talent, serving player for the national team. Menley the other option, another experienced option for Switzerland, but Bachmann sends it in and Earps claims. For Mary Earps, not the goalkeepers want to be tested more, but she wouldn't mind to have to make a few more saves, as we seem to, we have to say every game.
No, but she's been patient, waiting to get into this position. She's done what you want players to do. She's taken her opportunity, and she can only deal with what's been presented in front of her. And it's been a much better defensive organisation from England.
Greenwood played the ball where Hemp wanted it. And Hemp with a first-time ball in, and not over the line. Stabbed towards goal by Russo. England have come close in these early stages.
Well, again, great wing play. It's becoming synonymous with this England team. Fabulous first-time delivery, and Russo, I think, showing how lively she started this game. First to the ball.
Friedli thankful. Bachmann looking to release that pass. Nybogan is in. Has to check back, though. Plenty of shirts forward here. Reuteler thought about the shot. Now England get the shirts back. Balti. Gorcevic laying it off. Menley from distance. Fancy to go. Did Sondi Menley, who announced her retirement after the Euros. She had her time with the national team. Looking to test Earps from distance there, the midfielder.
But the opportunity had passed. It was a great opportunity from Ekbergen to square the ball across the England box.
Reutler, who was fouled not that long ago by Stanway, well, they should go face-to-face. Reutler plays for Eintracht Frankfurt. The Frauen-Bundesliga. That's where Stanway will be next season. The season coming, I should say.
What a great environment to go and test herself, prove her game. I think she's really come on this year.
That's the thing about this England team. Still a work in progress for Sarina Wiegman. Some young players in the squad. How many of her starting 11 at Old Trafford against Austria does she know at this moment in time? Russo trying to slide that in towards Mead. But she's got good problems, Emma, hasn't she, in that?
Yeah, she mentioned it in the interview before, that that's what you want. You want to come out of every game and you got another selection headache. I certainly like what I see from Russo up top so far. I think her and Fran Kirby could form a partnership. But I think she's still 1 year into her tenure. This isn't a largely experienced team. Still a work in progress.
Switzerland growing into the game here. Reutler. Some nice touches. And then Stanway again on Reutler, who looked towards the referee for the free kick. Didn't get it. So Gorcevic. Balti. Maritz, her club teammate at Arsenal. Caligaris for Switzerland. Now Balti again. Here's Walsh. Caught on the ball by Bachmann and dispossessed by Bachmann. And lovely turn by Bachmann. And looking to link up as well. Just sold a little short with the return pass. Bright was in there. Maritz. Well, both sides have had an eye for goal so far, or look dangerous going forward.
Right, we can see that Switzerland have tightened up since they played Germany. You can see that there's a tenacity, there's an energy to them, especially on the counter, and Bachmann will be at the heart of that. I think for England, as always, their wing play is exceptional, and I think the fact that Germany scored 5 goals from crosses against this Swiss team is an opportunity for England.
I'll get your experience with Ramona Bachmann, Emma, her time at Chelsea.
I mean, she's extremely talented on the ball, wonderful 1v1 player. And you can see when she set the ball in here, I knew that Millie Bright would have followed through with that, because that's the type of defender she is. But hopefully it's not too bad for Ramona.
Still feeling it, yeah.
Well, the setback was just a little short, otherwise it would have been a good shooting opportunity for her. Extremely talented player, really performed well for Switzerland.
For Niels Nielsen, we have the 2 coaches from the last Euros final, in Wiegman and Nielsen, who were managing different nations at that point in time. Nielsen in charge of Denmark, and Wiegman, as we know by now, in charge of the Netherlands. Bright taking a chance that time. We saw England were pressed by the Netherlands early on in that game. They've been pressed by Switzerland early on in this game. Something else to think about. Caligaris.
I mean, you can see the way they're set up, Switzerland. Look how high their left back is, Ekbergen. She is playing like a left winger. It's a very deliberate tactic, but it also opens up space for England in the opposite direction.
Swiss fullback has a special place in Swiss football history, scored their first goal at their first ever World Cup in 2015. Here's Reuteler, who England haven't been able to pin down. Bachmann likewise, swings it inside to Gorcevic. Couldn't get the header clean under enough pressure there. But they are threatening that England goal.
Oh, absolutely, really good play. See Williamson here, just constantly looking on her back shoulder. Does enough to get a backward header on the ball, or a shoulder out of play. Good play from Ramona Bachmann. And just watching her drift into the wide spaces, creating overloads. So important it is for Switzerland.
So a corner to defend. Switzerland's two key players almost combining for the opener. Menli sends it in, oops. Thought about coming, didn't. Bachmann. Balti. Hangs it into that penalty area. England marshalled it well in the end. Greenwood just checking Bula enough. Another Swiss centre-half. And Stanway. And Williamson. Back at the back. Williamson, good ball between the lines to find Russo. Stanway. Daly. Lead right on that right-hand side.
I mean, there's no doubt Williamson can play in midfield for England, but she's a fabulous centre-back. That cutting pass straight through the centre of the pitch, I don't think any other centre-back in the country can do that with that quality.
England have some pretty good passes in their back line.
Especially on this left-hand side, I think between them, both got the range of passing in the short. And for Millie Bright, they've certainly got the diagonal pass.
Stanway couldn't make that hold. I suppose that is the area for England to work that ball into that midfield. That's the tricky thing, it seems, so far for them.
I think if Williamson stays at the back, it's finding the right eight. I think that's where the challenge will be for Serena. That's why I say it's an opportunity for Stanway. Certainly been given and gifted more minutes than anybody else.
Caligaris playing that ball forward, one of several players in this Swiss team who played with boys when they were younger. Serena Gorcevic trying to slide that ball through to Reuteler. England playing a risky game at the back is Reuteler again. Trying to find Bachmann. Reuteler once more. Serena Gorcevic is in the middle, too much on the pass, but Geraldine Reuteler, 23-year-old, right start from her.
Well, she's just causing a problem off of Bachmann. I think the only challenge for Switzerland when they break out on that left is because Bachmann is outside of the box. There's only one body inside it.
Only a handful of appearances, really, for her club side this season, Frankfurt, Reuteler, but making a mark so far for her national side. Greenwood with a free kick here for England. It's interesting that England, with the home Euros, have chosen to go away just before the competition starts.
So smart, really is. Otherwise there'd be cabin fever. I think it's good organisation they've done that. Take the team away, put them in a different setting.
They have had their chances in the first 20 minutes. And the best chances of this game so far, they haven't had it all their own way. There's Bula.
Well, it was certainly bright from England the first 10 minutes. Switzerland coming into the game, certainly a little more comfortable possession out of the back.
Maritz. So, just tackled there. Grumbasso, whose cousin Jubal also plays for the national team. Plays for Eintracht Frankfurt. Natalie works hard going backwards when she has to defend. Hasn't been too often for England in the last year. Caligaris to Bula. Caligaris looks for that ball forward. Gorcevic trying to pick up positions now. Can England break quickly and work it wide? The answer is yes. Good ball from Stanway. Then a numerical advantage for a moment there, England, but Switzerland getting those shirts back. Here's Mead. Walsh. Daly. Checks back and stays on her feet, Daly.
I think we see against Switzerland how much counter-attacking space there is down England's right. I think the quicker they get Mead into the game, in the turnover, the better. Because Egbegin is playing so far forward and isolated from her centre-backs.
Williamson going on a run here. Now out of position. So, counter-press from England. Switzerland work themselves out of trouble really well. And good energy from So. Moritz. Bula. Bogan on this left-hand side, high up the pitch again. Reuteler. And a shrug off Stanway. Menley. Valti. There's a confidence about this Swiss team, considering the result they've just come off.
The influence of their Danish coach. You can see that their playing style has changed under his leadership. You see the likes of Vaulty, centre midfielders, dropping into false fullback positions. And they're not synonymous for their patience. They're largely a transition team.
Walsh finding Mead on that right-hand side. Beth Mead, that took a little nick. That's going to go behind for a corner.
I think England need to do more of it. And I think for Beth Mead, just be decisive. She's been so prolific this year. The quality of her assists into the box. England have got numbers going forward.
Well, England conceded from a corner against the Netherlands in the first half. Alika Martin's header. Can they score from one? Greenwood to take. In from Greenwood. It's away by Bula. Strong header. And Backman looking for the free kick to relieve the pressure. Didn't get the decision. No problem in the end.
Well, much like the game against Belgium, seems like Greenwood is targeting the near post. I've said it before, I think England are very good in the second phases from set pieces, and they do have variety, hence the short corner routines in the last game. And I say it because you can't deny its importance. As I said before, a third of all goals are scored from set pieces in major tournaments. It is a difference maker.
Here's Millie Bright, who's been relatively fruitful for England as a goal-scoring defender. Bright again. Greenwood, under limited pressure. But limited options for her to play the ball forward. Bright. Into Russo. Done a good job of making that ball stick so far. A very positive player as well, Russo. Tried to find Mead with the ball in. Stanway. Just about held on to that. Not much time for England players in that midfield, though.
Well, look how narrow and low Switzerland are between their units. There's not a lot of space to play, so you've got to be patient, got to be indirect.
Walsh looking for him. Couldn't take it cleanly, and the cover was there. And Caligaris. Maritz doing pretty well in the end, actually.
It's a good battle. I thought from the off, Maritz might struggle. Really good 1v1 defender, good experience, matured these last 12 months. I think it'd be a really good test for both players.
Former Wolfsburg player, the Arsenal fullback. If you've played for Wolfsburg, it's a decent level, to say the least. It's the England corner from Stanway. Walsh. Williamson. Good run from Kirby. Can she get goal side here with the ball? Valti across. A good cover from a player that the manager Nielsen has said is absolutely vital to this Swiss team.
Yeah, she's outstanding. She really is. Does that job so well. Kirby just makes that running behind. This is where I think it's so important for her to for Fran to keep building her minutes. Really does need exposures, game exposures.
Well, Valti winning her 99th cap tonight, but Mircea Gorcevic winning cap number 135 this evening, which makes her the joint record appearance maker for Switzerland, so a special night for her. Just a week or so after Sherida Spitzer won her 200th cap for the Netherlands. Can't underestimate the importance of experience in any national side. Perhaps an area where England are, I don't want to say inverted commas, lacking.
Well, I think when you compare to the likes of Sweden, then absolutely, I think in the midfield areas, look at the experience a team like Sweden has in the tournament, Spain, then I think, you know, we have to find the right blend in there, but what we do have is great depth, and those options can be a difference maker. I think these types of game away from home, we're not going to face the same situation playing in the Euros, but we are going to face games where we're expected to win, and it might be 0-0, maybe for long periods of time, and we need the bench.
Well, there's England's record goal scorer. Unavailable last week due to COVID, but all clear for this one. Coming off the bench this evening. No Lucy Bronze for England, incidentally. She's ill, though not with COVID. Bula. Caligaris to So. So to Maritz. And Greenwood not allowing her opposite number to turn there. High pressure from the fullback.
But again, that's where we're strong. I think, as we've seen, even in this game, England have to really do better at progressing the ball into the box. I mean, Beth England had one touch inside the box versus Holland. And we have to do that part of our game better, to give our forward players even more opportunity inside the key area.
Too much on the path to Lauren Hemp, who's received plenty of build-up already. Young wing forward for England. Said all the attention on Lauren Hemp, that may help other areas of the England side to find some space. Greenwood into Russo, keeping that ball tight again. Good work from the forward. Daly to link up with Mead. Stanway, Daly, Greenwood. There's the diagonal towards Mead. Bogan on the defensive cover that time. Corner England.
I have liked what I've seen from Alessia Russo so far. You know, exquisite touches, bringing the ball out of pressure, switching the play. Again, getting it into the box in any other way other than a cross or a diagonal is still the part of England's play that has to be developed.
Can they test Switzerland with this corner? Haven't been able to do so far. Greenwood. Brights lingering in there and off the line. Well, the cover. Gorcevic to deny England at the back post. It was Daly who won the header.
Well, England certainly had all their threats at the back post. Again, wonderful delivery. It's hung up. Daly brave at the back post. But there's bodies in the central area. Difficult to score. Good defending.
Reuteler making that point. It wasn't me who cleared it. And it will be a free kick to Switzerland in the end. I think Williamson saying it wasn't her fault. Maybe not much in that.
No, there wasn't.
England going into this tournament with a new captain, Williamson. Only had 6 minutes or so in the last World Cup, 2019. But this is an England team looking forward. Stanway.
I don't think they've quite got it right on the right-hand side. At times, Mead is coming in, but Daly isn't overlapping like Bronze is. And it's a good way to overload a narrow back four, but I think at times Mead is going to have to take the natural width.
Greenwood again, looking for options, not happy there.
But these are the areas of the pitch I'm referring to, trying to find inside players like this, finding, in this case, a 9 who's coming a little bit short. This is where England have to work the hardest. How to link inside that central quadrant, draw players out to then either switch the pitch or progress forward.
Russo seemingly the only player so far they've been able to pick out with those passes. There's Daly. Williamson. Greenwood. So far in this first half an hour, England have had some excellent opportunities. Big chances for Kirby, Hemp and Daly. Gorcevic. Such a presence for Switzerland on that side. Top player for them. They don't have the depth of the nations of this competition, Switzerland, but a couple of notable players, to say the least. Bright, Russo, Stanway. Had opened up for England there. Daly, looking for Hemp. Too much on that pass, but we'll try and keep it alive. Just runs out of play. I mean, Hemp is an option for a diagonal ball. She is decent in the air, but that's probably not where England want to build their attacks.
No, she's facing a good defender too. Moritz is smart. She's getting into good goal side positions. She's not advancing up the pitch. She's not leaving her a lot of space. And, you know, to win games, England need multiple ways to do that. We've spoken about Hemp, their ability from set pieces. And I do think Serena is still trying to figure out her best team, which is understandable. She's only been in charge a year. It takes time.
And they've shown, though, they don't make it easy for sides to try and build from the back themselves. Switzerland finding it tricky there. You didn't know already. England at the Euros in their group. Austria, Northern Ireland and Norway. Before a potential, if they do get out of the group, quarter-final against either Spain or Germany, but Denmark, of course, will have something to say about that. Don't write off Denmark.
No,
the final last time.
No, but I think whoever England face in those first few games is going to be tough, especially teams playing out, because England recover, on average, about 25 high recoveries per game. That's exceptional.
As England have also shown, they can bring players off the bench to make an impact, and that could be a big part of this European Championship.
Well, that's great for the whole squad because everyone's going to feel valued and feel like they've got a part to play in contributing.
Bright taking a chance. Sometimes when it pays off, you find openings. Greenwood. Kirby making another of those runs to try and make something happen.
She needs to do more of it. I think Stanway started to on the other side, but that space in between the fullback and the centre-back is on. You can see Greenwood, she's just looking for a player in that pocket. And when you've got wide players that hold the touchline, the 9 needs some support from the midfielders.
Mead can't link up with Daly. So calmly done from Valti again. Backman just crowded out. Williamson. Here's Bright. Hemp wriggles away from one challenge, but they swarmed round her there. Felt she was fouled though, Lauren Hemp. Trying to find space inside the pitch, funnily enough.
That's where she would like to go on the dribble. But as I mentioned before, the space between the Swiss lines, very short, less than 10 yards. It's not a lot of space.
So England with those opportunities, but also a positive start from Switzerland as well, who've shown, despite that scoreline against Germany, we'll repeat it, that they're no pushovers and they're a side looking to qualify for the World Cup next year as well.
They're always the worst team to face, a team that's just got absolutely walloped. You know, every player's got pride, and you can see in their aggression, the way they've played, they're holding their own.
One note, of course, that most of Germany's goals came in the second half. England improved against the Netherlands in the second half. All stretching for that there. Daly, who stayed down. Switzerland carrying on. Backman. Menley wants it. England switching off there. Oh, and missed by Earps, but also missed by Senegorcevic.
Oh, what a ball. What a ball across to the back post. I really thought Rach Daly would win that ball, which she did. But again, transition, attacking the space that Daly has left. And this is a fabulous hit into the box, just slightly over hit from Mendeley. And the number 9, deep the back post. Couldn't get enough on it.
Yeah, Menley, impressive ball into the penalty area. One of this experienced group of Swiss players, and Maritz has defended very well indeed against Hemp so far. Senegorcevic. Bula. Menley again. Link-up play has been pretty good so far from Switzerland. That one not quite coming off in the end. But as we said before, lots of experienced players in this Swiss side.
Yeah, I think really good performance in midfield with both So and Mendeley. You can see they're trying to overload a little bit England's right-hand side. The most telling crosses and chances created are coming down that side.
Just the 85 caps for Menley. The 92, well, this is the 93rd for Maritz. Well over 100 for Backman, well over 100 Senegorcevic. Here's Russo. Hemp. Kirby. I think Fran Kirby's been on the England scene for a long time, but this is only her 57th cap.
I mean, again, what a pass from Williamson into Russo. I think she gives England another dimension from this position, even if I think Greenwood is exceptional on the ball. I think Williamson has the ability to hit it on the floor, straight up to the striker.
Walsh with the switch. Out to Daly. Plenty forward here for England. Cross doesn't come in, though. Bright. Saw the space. But really, it's indicative of the options that England have in attack here. It's a defence from Switzerland. Bright. Won't shoot this time, you'd fancy. But Bogan needs to be careful. Needs to clear this now and does. And as far as Greenwood. Williamson to Kirby. Hemp. Just across it there. Back it goes. Greenwood. Kirby. Walsh now. Played out by Stanway. Daly, but good defence of the crosses so far from Switzerland.
Best passage of play for England last couple of minutes. Much more patient, more players involved in the build. Finally finding a player in that pocket beyond their midfield line. And again, Williamson at the heart of it.
Well drilled so far by Niels Nielsen, the Swiss side. To close in on half-time. England still will feel they should be a couple of goals in front, though, based on the chances they've had. Greenwood to take this corner late in the first half. Greenwood, and there's Daly. Did that hit to hand? England look towards the referee. And good closing down from him.
Again, that deep back post ball is causing so many problems. Both Daly and Bright in that area. So threatening. And I think Daly's going to be a tricky one, because if Williamson does play at the back, will Daly be the player to miss out? But she's such a threat for England from set pieces.
Well, we could play Rachel Daly anywhere on this team. She's got 10 options.
Great team player.
It's one of those who's given Serena Wigman one of those good headaches that managers have.
Now she's earned everything she's got. I think she's a player who's improved massively under her tenure.
Greenwood. Hemp gets away from Maritz for once. Walsh. Daly now. 4 in the penalty area. In it goes to Kirby. Header from Russo. But England maybe looking towards those wide areas now. They know that's where they can hurt the Swiss.
But what England are doing are going down one side, coming back inside the pitch. Good switches. And it's been much more patient the last 5 minutes.
All slip there from Caligaris. And that should be a booking for the centre-back.
I mean, what else was she to do? Certainly couldn't leave Russo bearing down on goal.
Plays in Spain, has spent the last 5 years in Spain. Speaks fluent Spanish in that time.
A really good half from Russo, I think. She's shown some things that will justify why Serena Wigman is rotating the forwards. Certainly got good options.
Nielsen a little worried here. Looks as though they're going to go for the swinger here from Stanway. Stanway leaves it for Greenwood. Maritz lost the ball momentarily there. Oh, Reuteler just about got away with that. Some cost maybe, though.
Well, Stanway has to go for it. I'm not sure about that. I'm really not.
That's an argument to say if Stanway had gone down there. But Hemp so far being well marshalled by Maritz, but how long will that last for?
I like I said, I think Moritz is a smart defender. I think it's a good test.
Well, Russo strong in the challenge. The referee didn't like the challenge. But Caligaris, who was caught out just moments earlier, Russo fancied her chances of trying to get the ball back, but caught the player here in the process.
I don't know, again, it's what you want to see your forwards do, tracking back. Maybe it is a little late. I'm not the best person to ask on these things. I'd never give any free kick.
Caligaris clearly not happy with the challenge.
A good end to the half, though, for England. Yes, no goals. Away from home. Seeing a different partnership with Kirby and Russo. Williamson at the back gives us something different to think about. And now I think England's best strength is obviously changes. And she's made them at half-time. It'd be interesting to see if she'll do the same again.
Well, they were in a sticky patch against the Netherlands, not just in the first half, but at the beginning of the second half, when the Netherlands spits and missed from the penalty spot. After that, it was all England, after the substitutions were made as well. Caligaris looks like she's going to be okay. The Swiss-Italians in the squad. Hasn't hid the fact that she'd love to play in the Juventus kit one day. Currently at Levante. Talk about Rachel Daly playing in multiple positions. Caligaris has played up front, can play in midfield. Centre-back tonight for Switzerland. Reuteler can't make it stick. Kirby won't get to that ball. Caligaris seems to be moving okay now. And
I'm trying to pronounce her name. I'm devastated.
well, second half underway, no goals in the first half. England with the better chances in that first half. Switzerland showing enough to show that there'll be no pushovers come tournament time. And as far as World Cup qualification is concerned, they're second in their group behind Italy. After losing to the Italians in their last qualifier. But wait for those changes and the impact they'll have on the game.
Well, unlike Serena, not to make any, but it gives England the chance to start the second half like they did the first.
Problem there for Millie Bright, briefly. England still on the attack, though, and Stanway checks. That will be a free kick. So England not turning to the substitutes bench yet.
She's got a fly in her eye.
How irritating is that?
Oh, scoop it out, get on with it.
Let's hope it's a fly then, Emma.
I'm kidding. Needed to get in the box. Free kick coming.
So, set piece for England, and Greenwood, Stanway over it. It's been Greenwood taking all the set pieces so far. Stanway this time for England. A low delivery, and at first it looked as though it wasn't the best ball of the world, but it almost worked out for Hemp.
Well, Hemp made it a good ball with a fabulous run across the front zonal player.
We've seen this so often from international sides, trying to build from the back, but Friedley going long this time, giving up on it.
This is what I think teams might do against England, knowing how good they are in the press. Be interested to see which teams go long against them.
Lovely touch from Backman, trying to play that ball in behind as well. Switzerland taking off an important player in that regard, who was a threat in that first half, Sana Gorcevic. Ball forward. Oh, and took her eye off the ball there, Reuteler. Didn't have the touch required, and he knows it.
just a little disjointed from England at the back. I think for Williamson, had such a strong first half.
Mead. Just to get that pass away. Knocked on by Williamson. Must be repeated, of course. England yet to lose under Serena Wiegman. Williamson. Right.
I mean, it must be said, Switzerland held out 2-0 down against Germany for 60 minutes. You know that they did concede 5 goals in the last 30. I think for England, this is where the bench coming into the game, bringing in energy, whomever it might be, will be critical.
That's why the manager holding off changes so far.
I think there was a lot of good things to like about the first half. I think Russo, Williamson in particular.
Here is Russo. Hemp, first time ball in, too much on the cross though. Maybe Mead didn't gamble on that ball coming in first time.
And that's the challenge you get when you have Russo coming so low to get on the ball, was that if she plays Hemp in behind, that there's only one body in the box.
Moritz has tried everything so far just to pin Hemp down. I expect Hemp's going to come against all sorts of tactics to try and pin her down. That was a painful one for her on the wrist. And England will be hoping that's a brief issue. A wry smile there from Lauren Hemp. And a player so many people are talking about at the moment, but a humbleness about Lauren Hemp that people close to her have spoken about, taking it in her stride so far. And we must remember again how young she is.
She's just got to keep enjoying her football. She's a joy to watch, and the country should be proud of her.
Niels Nilsson will be proud of Moritz's performance so far, though. But this touch here from Reutela, and she knew the opportunity there. The manager's reaction said it all as well. Niels Nilsson, who spent 4 years in charge of Denmark. After that, had a short spell with the youth sides in China. Now in charge of Switzerland, who are a country who've been to 2 major tournaments, 2015 World Cup in Canada and the last Euros. Got to the knockout stages in Canada, losing to the hosts. Couldn't get past the group stage in the Netherlands. Serena Wiegman got past the group stage, went all the way. Beth Mead so far, she knows in her position as well. Chloe Kelly is a rival for that role. Hemp just getting some treatment on that wrist. If there's one area England won't mind Hemp having an issue, it's probably on the hand. Pride in the stadium at the 11,000 tickets sold for this game. And a big cheer going around the ground. Bright, just under 10,000, or just under 11,000, I should say. And still a record crowd. It was just over 6,000, the previous record. Hemp back on the field. Williamson trying to bend that ball in behind. Fancy him, if England do get their noses in front in the next 10 minutes or so, you'd think Hemp would be one of those first players to come off. Hemp on the move now, Lauren Hemp. It's been interesting in this game, she's looked to try and mix her game up a lot more than just, hasn't run with the ball too much, she's looked to play that pass first time, that cross first time. Stanway battling to hold on to it, but Switzerland have done a very good job to make it difficult for England. They're looking for the free kick there, and it does come eventually.
Well, it should have come initially, but I understand it's a foul in the back. Taking some time, the officials, to make decisions in this game.
England supporters in the crowd. And Earps out to deal with that one. Just about got it to Bright. Daly. Mead. Expecting the challenge.
Game getting a little more physical second half. Certainly slowed down a touch. More controlled from England. But I think less movement.
Good ball from Williamson again, though, to find Stanway. Kirby. Serena Wigman not afraid, of course, to change things up if needs be, to try and find a solution to a problem in the game. Williamson. Kirby. Hemp getting that foot on. Moritz was there again. Moritz disciplined in her work on that side. Williamson. Daly. Oh, sharp turn there from Stanway. Quickly closed down by Bula. And at the moment, those little individual moments of quality might be the key for England here.
Well, that's what's lacking around the penalty box. The build-up play, especially this part of the pitch. England are comfortable.
Kirby. And Williamson, who's had so much time to play her passes as Switzerland stay tight in the midfield area. Picks the perfect pass again to Daly. Daly hangs it in there. Hemp is arriving, so is Russo. What a finish! England find the opener. And Alessia Russo with that opener. They break that Switzerland rear guard with brilliant football. England in front at the start of this second half.
Oh, it's exactly what we were talking about. Brilliant team goal. Once again, started off by the brilliance out of the back from Leah Williamson with a crossfield pass to perfection at the feet of Rachel Daly. Takes it in her stride and just lofts it to the back post where Russo eludes her mark up, keeps her eye on the ball and just cushions it into the bottom corner. Alessia Russo has certainly staked a claim to start for England. I think she's played really, really well today.
Well, the Manchester United striker as England go again. That time through me trying to catch the goalkeeper out. But the Manchester United striker, Alessia Russo, with that goal. Her fourth for England. The previous three all came in that 20-0 victory over Latvia. And Nielsen, of course, will be disappointed, but well-crafted goal from England. So Switzerland, who crumbled rather in the second half against Germany.
Well, that's what you'd fear for Switzerland. England have to stay on top.
So, challenge from Bright. Wasn't going to allow so any time there. And we think through all of England's performances under Serena Wigman, I've seen them all, England have come on very strong in second halves of games. Say the one drop-off, perhaps, one notable game, that game against Canada. And they had a fine first half. The Canadians were the better side in the second half, but besides that, They've been pretty strong. Hogan. Batman hasn't had many touches in his second half. I won't get that ball. Mead, strong challenge from her. And Wigman won't mind seeing that either.
I think both. All wide players for England, and their back defending is excellent.
I suppose England supporters will be encouraged if they see England adapting in games to overcome issues. There's that sort of situation as you see tournament winners, the potential tournament winners, and that ability to do that. And having that depth off the bench, but they haven't turned to the bench yet, England. Here's Williamson. Bright. Daly. Mead. Daly. Walsh. England linking up well here, so could she get goal side of Walsh? She can't. And Walsh almost nutmegging, so still has the ball though, Kira Walsh. Stanway. And now Kirby. Mead. England moving Switzerland around here. Daly. Ball cleared away, but only as far as Kirby. Just wouldn't break to her there. Ruler away. And a very relieving free kick for Switzerland.
But so much better this half from England. I think they really are showing a maturity. This team recognises when to be more patient in its play. I think they've been much better on the right-hand side. Stanway getting more involved, including Mead. And I think as a result of that and having both sides of the pitches to play in, with Fran Kirby coming a little lower to get on the ball. Been a good 15 minutes.
And now they have their lead. They can bring on the substitutes. And a fair few of them as well. So Kirby makes way for Ella Toon, who really impressed coming off the bench against the Netherlands. Scored one and was involved in the build-up to 3 other goals as well. A Chelsea duo, Bethany England and Jess Carter, and a Manchester City forward, Chloe Kelly. Russo going off after her goal, and England on.
It really is great, the options England have. All the players coming off all played well. There's a chance for others, as I said, to feel valued, and if England are going to win the Euros, every single player has to play their part.
Well, Kelly on for Mead. I fancy those two are going to be flip-flopping during the competition. And no real drop-off for England in quality in that department. That's for sure. Jess Carter, we'll see where she plays in the back line. She can play across the entire back line. The backman still has a problem here. The player had a notorious moment actually in the past against England in a World Cup playoff back in the 2011 World Cup. Just ask Rachel Brown-Finnis. Who ended up being sent off in that game for an inverted commas incident with Backman, who's not going to be able to continue here. Switzerland down to 10 at the moment, but on the attack, Maritz. He's probably been one of Switzerland's stand-up players in this game, certainly defensively. And an interesting player coming on here in Fabian Hume, who had retired from the national team, but was persuaded to return to the setup by the current manager. And one of the players in the squad who isn't completely professional. But England on the attack here again, looking for their second goal. And the substitutions that they've made so far. And Daly now on the left side of defence now, and Hemp taking this ball on. And Kelly going for the first time shot. That's cleared away by Marty. Bright.
Just take 5-10 minutes for the game to settle back down with that number of subs.
Yeah, 4 changes made there by England. Might be something that happens in the tournament. Here's Bright. Toon always thinks forward. Played a lovely pass as well to Daly, and they're queuing up in the middle. Hemp trying to attack that, and Friedley claims.
You know what's so great watching Ella Toon? She just wants to get on the ball. She always shows for it. She's not afraid. Will take it in the tight spaces.
There's a player you know well, Emma, who's had to go off in the end. Disappointment for Backman.
Well, hopefully it's nothing too serious. Important tournament. An important game she's going out of, but no, she's such a top player for her country.
It's 2 of Switzerland's better players now off the pitch, and they're under pressure here. Kelly, lovely ball in, and almost forced in. England on a penalty as well. Hemp, I think there's a problem on her wrist again. Just wonder here if England should maybe just take Lauren Hemp off.
Yeah, the stars might be suggesting that, but what a ball from Chloe Kelly. I mean, for the very limited minutes she's had, she hits 3 key passes a game. I mean, goal-scoring opportunities. She is a fabulous threat for England.
Well, a popular substitution, as in the player coming on. Disappointment that Backman has come off, but whom is on? One of the, I want to say veterans. Can you say veterans 7 years ago? But one of the members of that 2015 side.
See the way she fell, looked like she might have broke her wrist.
Still on the pitch now, for now, Lauren Hemp. Backman with bigger problems in that area. So rare attack in the second half from Switzerland at the midway point of the second half. Mike Bogan. That's not a bad ball at all. Big chance for Sol. Indecisive in the end. England covering it in the end. Very good opportunity, though.
Well, again, another deep cross goes beyond the 2 centre-backs. And so I think it's been solid. And this player here been getting forward the whole game. Just bounces at an awkward height. You see the frustrations.
Indeed, plays in France for Paris, the other club in the top flight in France. The Paris club in the top flight in France. Williamson, purposeful play again from the centre-back. And England's in the middle here. Good cover in the end. England looking dangerous again, though.
Well, that's what you're going to have with Beth England now, with quick balls going through Toon into Hemp. Beth England will look to run the front post.
Stanway will go across to take this one. Defensive work here for Switzerland. Stanway's corner, and England heads it over. Free header for Bethany England.
Oh, great chance. I mean, entire game we've been seeing back post deliveries, mixed it up again with a front post ball. Well-timed run, just got under it.
Stanway so far.
She can deliver a ball. Don't underestimate her with that. We know we talk about Greenwood and her delivery, but Stanway strikes the ball so well.
It's a lovely touch in there from Marty, who has it back again. Who? Free kick, but every time Whom touches the ball, she gets a great reception as an FC Zurich player. But a yellow card here for that challenge. Stanway holds her hands up. I think she... The first late challenge she's had tonight, Georgia Stanway.
It's part of her. I totally understand that. You know, that tenacity is part of her game. You can see she's clearly onside. But the top level, you have to be so conscious not to concede cheaply around these areas, because you're going to come up against some of the best set-piece takers in the world. You don't want to give teams anything.
Think about the big games that England have played. Serena Wigman, we think the game against the Netherlands, they conceded from a set-piece. Against Germany, Nina Magul scored direct from a free kick. It's a little bit further out than this one. Nevertheless, give any of the top players a free strike at goal. Not the easiest of shooting angles, though, so it might be more of a cross here from Menley, we'll see. And Menley digs it in there, England all over the place at the back. Flag is up. Well, Caligara's head in hands, but they were queuing up the Swiss to put that in.
And that's what happens, just in a moment, 1-0 up. Could be a change in the game. Yes, she's offside. But when you know they are such an important part of international football, they're the lessons I think some of the younger players on this English team need to develop going into tournament football. It's not to change anything. Stanway is a terrific football player. Just needs to be conscious of those small things.
Here's Walsh. Saw the challenge coming from Whom. Eyes in the back of her head there, Keira Walsh. Williamson. Probably been England's most effective creator. Well, Walsh getting that ball wide now. Hemp wants the pass. It's Mrs. Hemp finds England. Top save by Fradley. Had to make it.
And that's what I was talking about, with such good wide play, Toon getting involved. Beth England takes these positions up so well. Times it, just hits it in the one space. It was easy for the goalkeeper to cover, but really good from Beth England.
Fradley's made some important contributions to keep the score as it is for Switzerland. Well, England go to the back post from the corner. Serena Wigman not happy her side, hasn't scored more goals tonight. Hemp goes to that back post again towards Bright. Marty clears. Carter. Walsh. Well, as it was against the Netherlands, it's England's second half. Toon. Ball wide. Kelly now on the left-hand side. Here is Kelly. Brilliant feet. Hemp! Oh, off the line to deny what would have been a brilliant goal. Oh, it's a penalty. It's a penalty in any case. England will get the chance from the spot to score a second. But just before that, that would have been a glorious goal again from Lauren Hemp, but not to be denied on the line.
What a brilliant piece of wing play from Chloe Kelly. Really quick feet to get beyond, perfectly timed. I don't know how that's a penalty. I thought it was a push by Stanway. Nonetheless, take it.
And Marty unfortunate there because she fell down onto the ball. And the whistles ring round the arena. Georgia Stanway, who's already scored once from the penalty spot for England under Serena Wigman. A chance for Georgia Stanway to score her second penalty under Serena Wigman. And a chance to double England's lead here. Trying to shut out the whistles. It's Stanway, finds the corner. And England's 2-0 up now in this game. They've had another strong second half and a deserved lead.
Well, I think it was a deserving goal for Hemp to score. That forced the penalty, really well struck, confident, decisive, instep into the corner. But what a piece of play from Chloe Kelly. The way she jigged between two defenders, the know-how, the confidence to hit the ball to Lauren Hemp.
And there you go, Hemp almost finishing on a high. And Nikita Paris coming on in that wide area as well. We talk about energy that England could bring off the bench. Paris, another example of that. But start to think, if you're Kelly or Mead, maybe you don't want to start.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's about where the team ends up, and I think it will change throughout the tournament. I don't think it matters.
Certainly not for England when they have these options. Paris, can she get to this? Vogel just doing enough in the end. And Switzerland really did fade against Germany in that 7-0 loss last time out. The goals coming late in that game. We saw Belgium fade against England as well. How much would England face sides of the competition who do have deep squads? The likes of Germany and France, perhaps. But that's a brilliant ball from Walsh. And here's Paris, corner. And you do start to worry for Switzerland now in these this last quarter of an hour.
But I do think it is great for Serena Wigman to notice that every time England make changes, they improve. And not because anything's going wrong in the first 60 minutes. You have to break a team down, but we're able to sustain, even increase performance in the latter stages of games.
So Stanway just scored from the spot for England. Looking to turn provider here. Stanway to England. It's in, it's 3. The Lionesses do find a way through from a set piece. And Beth England off the bench, a goal for her. And Switzerland may be crumbling again for a second game in succession. But England won't care about that. They increase their advantage.
Building confidence, 3 headers, 1 goal. This time, she goes straight through the ball. Good dummy from Chloe Kelly in front of the goalkeeper. She catches it really well, heads it down.
Was there a slight touch from Chloe Kelly to try and pitch that one?
No, you can't take that off of the striker.
Kelly hasn't scored for England. She had a goal taken off her against Belgium. Deemed as too big a deflection. We will see.
No, that's Chloe Kelly's goal.
Not Beth England's.
This one's Beth England's.
Well, I'll say it again, another strong second half for England. And I'll pose this one to you, Emma. We talk about, obviously, it's an open tournament, lots of favourites. Does any side have the depth that England have off the bench?
That's a good question. I think Sweden are the most experienced team. I think they have depth, but their experience stands out. I'm sure every team feel they have changes in them. But I think England do have the most depth in the forward areas, in the most attacking areas. We have so many wide players to choose from, so many number 9s, so many number 10s. I think the area we are short is a number 8.
Speaking of number 8s, Sondi Menley coming off here. An interesting player coming on in the number 7, the teenager, Mariela Chimaili, whose twin brother is also a young professional footballer. And a talented forward as well. And another interesting player coming on here in Renast, who is a singer, Emma, as well as a footballer.
Well, good for her.
England have been on song in this second half. Stanway going off. And Jill Scott, her first appearance in these warm-up games. An experienced presence in this England squad, of course.
And I do think that's an option that England need to utilise. A hugely experienced player that has always performed for England, I might say.
And England closing in on that Swiss defence again. Who will look at that clock and realise there's still plenty of time left for England to add more. Paris arriving in the back post. Chloe Kelly has been a thorn in this Swiss defence since she's come on. Bright. When England have been on top in games and got that goal, they've really pressed on and looked for more. There's a ruthlessness about the way they want to attack sides now when they do get that advantage.
But there's competition. There's players on the bench that want to impress, and they're coming on and they are impressing. That's healthy for a team.
Here is Raquel Renast. Another of these players. There's plenty of caps. That's on the left-hand side. But it's at the centre of defence at the moment. Oh, and England, the pressure from Williamson. And Earps. And Walsh. Here's Toon. Now Kelly. Fancies a go. How close was that one? If she doesn't get that, given the benefit of the doubt with that little touch before the England goal, she'll still fancy a chance of finding the net in the last 10 minutes.
But the speed at which Toon and Kelly play together is exciting. I think the young players coming into this England team really offer something that we're going to need in this tournament.
So yes, Renast indeed on that left-hand side. So England on course here for another win in these warm-up matches. And of course there'll always be a few question marks because they haven't started the tournament yet. But on the whole, scoring plenty of goals. It's a loose pass. Renast clearing it forward, no option there. Bright into England. Backed on by Walsh. And England making all those changes, but still looking dangerous. Another good sign as well.
Absolutely. They look fresh, hungry, the players coming into the game. Everyone looks clear on their roles. I think England are in good shape going into the tournament.
So, under a bit of pressure, they're still able to press as well, England, with these fresh legs. And Walsh, what about that for a pass? Paris couldn't bring it down.
That's what happens if you give Walsh time and space to turn and face forward. He's so capable of that.
I suppose that's another element of this, Emma, is the fact that if you give space, or if you try and pin down one of these England players, somebody's got space elsewhere, it feels like. Almost closing that one down, England.
I think the reality is if you keep England relatively quiet for 60 minutes, you know that 30 minutes that there could be up to 5 changes, and that's where a lot, I think, of England's progress is being made in terms of their team development. Their most chances are created then. It's dynamic. As I said before, we shouldn't speak about starting 11s, we should speak about the whole squad and its value.
Speak about the finishers. It's the phrase used by Eddie Jones in the rugby union team. Those players you bring off the bench who see you over the line. And Kelly at the moment has been unplayable really for the Swiss players since she's come on. Reuteler, who had some decent moments in the first half, looking the other way and being forced to hold on to Chloe Kelly as she moves away.
It just seems that both Kelly and Mead making massive impacts from the bench. I don't think either one of them in the last few games have been overly outstanding from starting positions, but it doesn't matter. As long as they make the impact that's necessary for England to win, that's all that's important to the team.
Before this match, England would have been seen as the favourites for this game, especially considering Switzerland's recent form. Nevertheless, a win is a win. That's all you can do. That's all you're asked to do. It's Bula. Bula again. And that's a strong header, to say the least, from Daly. I was saying it was there for me to have a go, ref.
And it was, but it is strong. It was through the back of her. She's right, she won the ball. She's tough. I can see why it's been given as a free kick. You know,
Another of the big performers for England under Sarina Wiegman, the player who plays her football in the United States, who are still standard bearers for women's football on the global stage, but they're not going to be playing in the tournament next month. Jamaili, Friedli didn't fancy that one, got it away. Walsh, who's grown in this game, dominating it with her deep passing, looking for the run of England. Patsy Friedli will take her time here.
she will, but what great confidence for Russo and England going into the tournament, getting a goal apiece today.
And again, to repeat the theme that England substitutes, there's no drop in energy. Switzerland, meanwhile, making the same number of changes. Mariam Tershun, another FC Zurich player, coming on. The forward replacing Reuteler. And he'll be pleased with his side's first half performance. Of course, he would have known that England would come on strong in the second half. It's exactly what Germany did, and Germany amongst the favourites for the competition. Bula. And there's Daly. England may be 3-0 up, but no sign from them in any of the games, actually, that they're in coast mode. Here's Paris. And Jill Scott. Carter. Walsh. Tidy control again from Walsh, who felt she was fouled before that. Oh, Jill Scott coming off the bench. We almost forgot about Jill. I don't know how you can forget about Jill Scott, but we talk about those midfield options. Completely unique one for England.
As I said before, she's always performed in an England shirt, and she's performed for Sarina in her tenure.
Jamaili. That ball there. This is Maritz. Caligaris. Lost by whom? Toon looking for Paris. Two Swiss players almost getting in each other's way there. Scott trying to force her way through. So, crowded out, didn't really have the support there, but battling. And England get the decision in the end. Switzerland starts their tournament against Portugal at the home of Manchester United's women's side, Lee Sports Village. And they'll be favourites for that game, Switzerland. Portugal replacing Russia in the tournament. Bright. The switch out to Kelly. And Kelly with one thought in her mind to drive forward, and there's nothing Moritz really could do about that. She would have thought, oh, I've seen off Lauren Hemp, but Chloe Kelly, not that much easier to deal with.
No, what a handful. You can tell she's got so much confidence running at Moritz. Completely different proposition to Hemp. And I think Moritz did quite well with that. I think the difference with Kelly is she just changes direction all of the time.
Serena Wigman, what has she learnt from this game? We'll find out after the game, of course. She speaks to Katie Shanahan. Kelly playing it short, and Toon was caught there, was she? And Walsh with a shot, didn't catch it cleanly, and scramble defence in the end from whom?
I know the shot come off, but if that was during the tournament, would it have been a penalty for VAR? Certainly looked like she was caught.
No VAR in this particular game, which Switzerland will be thankful for, because England could have had a penalty in the first half as well, to add to the one they were awarded in the second half. 4 more minutes. Switzerland to endure. Another dominant second half from England. In from Kelly. Buller away. Carter. We think back even to the game when England won 20-0 against Latvia. The notable thing about that was they never dropped off in their intensity, England, even when they're comfortably in front.
I think it's a sign of maturity and also how much they've developed under Serena. Like I said, I think they're going into the tournament in good shape.
Good play from Beth England to Paris. And Paris, they're all in the middle there. There's about 4 shots to aim for. And Toon doesn't really want it up there.
What I think England have done much better today is from back to front, linked with their 9. Played up to then play out and then filled the box better.
Paris won't get to that. As we close in on the end of this game, what will Serena Wigman have learnt from this particular game, or do you think she now knows enough about her team going into this tournament?
She won't like me saying this, but I think she's learnt that Leah Williamson should play at the back. I think that's the main thing, and that's got nothing to do with Alex Greenwood. So I think you could play those two side by side and still have the quality. I think it's reaffirmed that how important it is to link with the 9, get the 10s more involved. I think they've done it better today.
And the England manager celebrating that second goal from Stanway. She was probably a little frustrated England didn't score more in this game, of course.
You know, the mad thing is she's been playing with double pivots, but Keira Walsh is so used to playing as a single pivot with an 8 and a 10 at Manchester City, and she looks more comfortable as a result of that. I think sometimes with her and Williamson, they're trying to do the same thing.
Kelly. Looking for Scott, perfect ball! And Scott repays the cross with England's 4th goal. A big smile on the face.